Hello, this time I tried to record an intro before showing my progress with the TZR engine. This video will go over to a time lapse with the assembly of the TZR engine. Maybe I highlight some small issues, not issues, some small details. I thought I'd talk a little about other progresses. Manuel's twin is waiting for parts. I'm waiting for new pistons and some new floats in the carburetors and some minor stuff. And I'm relocating some stuff for the electric parts. I'm changing the seat so driver more easily can slide back and forth on the chassis to avoid wheelies. And I also add electronic control over the power jets, so it might not flood the engine when running on launch control. This one, my Husky, it's done for the year. It's I want to have some minor tuning to do. I need to reset the ignition because when I was out running it last weekend, it started to ping a little bit when I leaned it down. So I guess the ignition is set a little bit early. That's why it's really responsive on small throttle inputs. But it's nowadays on 280cc. It's 70.8 stroke and 71 bore. And I ported the cylinder and larger carb and redesigned the Schlechter exhaust a little bit to get more bottom and more top. More top by the carburetor and more bottom by the pipe, and also more top with the port of the cylinder. I also added a V43 from a Kawasaki KH250, and doesn't fit perfect, but it's working. It adds torque and probably some throughout the whole RPM range. I dynoed it 38 point something, I can't remember on the roller here, but it was wildly spinning this rear tire. And yeah, you know, knobby tires doesn't grip the roller any good. So I need to borrow a wheel or buy a wheel or something and put a street tire on it so I can get the correct data. But it runs really good, it's very responsive, a little bit too responsive, might have to do with the ignition. And I needed to calm it down with the larger sprockets at front. I first had 12 teeth, now I've got 14. And it calmed it down a little bit. So now the wheelies are under control. Earlier it wasn't done, I just wanted to flip. Now I can control it. And this one is waiting for the engine. As I said, I will cut in some assembling process from the engine. And where am I? No, that should be it. And I'll try not to make too long videos, so I'll cut into some background music and time lapse. So yeah, that's for this time. oil pump in this engine that pushes oil into this cavity, and then a small it pushes oil into here, into there, and into the shaft, and lubricates the shift forks. And I don't know, maybe it lubricates the gear, but there is when this one's full, there's a small opening at the top that has a hose on top of the case that drips oil onto the shafts. So that's important, it becomes sealed, but not any sealant into these grooves. Now this groove, I don't know if there is any, it's just a air groove maybe for some reason. This one isn't pressurized, but this one is pressurized. So very small amount, otherwise you got the whole engine full of silicone. There. Right, like that. Yep. So, some number 8, and these yellow ones, of course, it's titanium. Like a nerd, what do you call it? I just snug them down and later torque them. This is the hose I'm talking about. Oil comes up in this and down onto the between the gears, and they're moving freely still. And I got grease in the bearings, so it turns almost silent. And now I've snugged those up. I'll turn the engine around. fasteners. And I honed the cylinders a little bit. Oh, I need to check the ring gap also. So I need to take this one. It's a lot of things still to do. I wanted to. I'll just leave pistons as they are. Probably. Yeah, I'll leave them. So let's take the closest to me first, and then push down the ring. Use the piston to push him down a little bit so the squares up above the exhaust, and then measure. And I got the feeler gauges over here, and it seems quite big actually. I hope it's large enough so I won't have to grind it. 0.40 here. Yeah, 0.4 went in. Maybe it didn't. Oh yes it did. 0.4, like with a little bit suction, but it's actually 0.4. That's quite big actually. Because you want, I can't calculate, but somewhere in the region in this engine about 0.3. So when running nitrous, you need larger gap. So it's good, but probably, even though they're fresh Nicasil bores, and I was gently honed it, we put the clearance a little bit large. I haven't then gotten a possibility to measure it right now, so clearance might be larger than I wanted. But there's nothing to do with that right now, so I'll just run it like it is. It has produced 80 horses anyway, so. And there's a letter on the rings. It's always to the top side of the piston. And I do it like this. Put one side in and then just like the nail and it's on. No hard bending or nothing. That's this one is married to this one. Let's take the other one. You don't need any tools. I'll just square it up with a pin. Push it gently, oops, into the groove like that. Now I use the pin to, oops, I need to hold a finger on the, so it won't be an accident. And just, you hear the click, and it's seated perfectly. And the opening is like at, let's see, 7 o'clock, it's good enough. Now I can use, if wanting it to take apart, I can use a small screwdriver and go into this notch and push it out. Now this is pre-assembled, groove retainer like that. Now I need to take that one, wrist pin out, and I got these race bearings from PGME in UK, silver plated. Push one in right in there, and then I use this This is a very sticky oil. Maybe you should see it also. Like that. It's almost like syrup. Very sticky. Like that. And now a small oil, very minor oil film on this. And then like that. Maybe you want to see something also. Went in very smooth. Where I had 3, right? No, I'm sorry, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The first one is easy. Do the back one first. Just push it in. Right there. Ah, I dropped it. Right there. And where's the wrist pin? I had this box here, right here. And go from this direction right now though. You hear? Click. And it's heated perfectly. And lubricate some stuff with my stuff. feels good. That's my, what do you call it, leak down test. I can take this one. I changed the width of the squish band. I have also lowered the compression some. And I run without any gasket. I have a small, what do you call this? It's 1/10 higher here than here. So when pulling down the head, it creates a lot of pressure at the cylinder. And then I got an O-ring outside that seals up from water from going into the cylinder. And at the outside here, I only run silicone. Maybe I should have milled a groove, but it's working and I'm good with that. Before lowering the compression, I had about, with oil in the liners, as I've got now, dried off, oiled in and then rotated it and wiped away. Very minor amount of oil. And from fresh, I got around 170 psi, 180. Should be lower now. I don't see, I can see. Oops, I need to, it was set on torque. Now let's see, you together. Landed on 150 psi. 20 to 30 psi lower pressure. Running alcohol might be a stupid idea, but I want to waste some heat into the pipes. I have explained it in an earlier episode of the videos. Let's see if the same right here. You can see it at the same time as me. Right at maybe 150. That's good. sitting in TDC right now. No, maybe not quite, but very close, but I'll eyeball it a little bit better. Just a little bit. Right there. Now it's TDC. And this one I can just put anywhere I want to at this point. Right there will be good. In the middle of the adjusting. Adjusting grooves. Snug them up. I need a 1mm6 washer. I got one. And this one. It's dirty. Right there. Clean it some. Doesn't need to be shiny, just shiny. Whatever. And now TDC, and this is 16 points -1. That's a home, and I can set it wherever I want almost, but I'll set it like in TDC right now. And thereby I got some, let's see if it's correct, if I explain this correctly. The home signal is before when it's rotating, TDC. And max ECU needs to know first falling tooth after TDC. But I also wanted to have enough. Let's say I'm using a 35 degrees of total ignition, and I want this to be at least 35 degrees before. And this should be about 90 degrees, so that's good. So I set the, but I just used like this, I set the first tooth, this tooth, pointing against the arrow. And by that I got maybe 100 degrees, and I remember it was about 100 degrees in Max ECU software. And now I'll tap it just a little bit. And this one's left threaded. Turn the left for pulling. Like that. Turn the engine around, see if it's still, yeah, it's rotating freely. No run out either. That's good. Now the engine's done. I can put this up here. I have it located in the frame on the bike, but I'll locate it. It will be easier to put the engine in the chassis. But that's it for today. I'm calling it quit. per day. I have some small adjustments with the nitro system that will not come loose. I will fix that off the camera. But yeah, that's the engine.